Anas Sarwar snubs Richard Leonard following MP's Burns night race row. Senior MSP Anas Sarwar snubbed leader Richard Leonard as he publicly questioned the decision not to suspend Hugh Gaffney for his offensive remarks. Mr Leonard today insisted appropriate action had been taken after the Coatbridge, Chryston and Bellshill MP was reprimanded and agreed to attend diversity training. But Mr Sarwar said such measures were not a punishment as he called for deeds instead of words to tackle racism from party bosses. Earlier he refused to sit with Mr Leonard during First Minister's questions despite being given a front-bench position. A leaked copy of a seating plan sent to MSPs and staff by party's chief whip Rhoda Grant showed Mr Sarwar was expected to flank the leader. But it is the understood Glasgow MSP viewed this as tokenistic amid the row over Mr Gaffney's self-penned poem read to a gathering of student activists in Edinburgh. Mr Gaffney has apologised after it emerged he joked about Robert Burns not being bent. He also told attendees they were lucky he had made it along as he had planned to have a sea for dinner. Sources have claimed Mr Gaffney is too close to Jeremy Corbyn for any serious action to be taken over the derogatory references to the LGBT in Chinese communities. The former postal worker, also a North Lanarkshire councillor, backed left-winger Mr Leonard in last year's leadership contest against Mr Sarwar. Mr Sarwar, who drew up an 8-point plan on tackling racism in the party after speaking out on the abuse he has received, said it was not about any individual. But he added, "Let's be clear about one thing: equality and diversity training is not a punishment. Equality and diversity training should be compulsory for every elected member who is in office, for anyone who seeks office, or indeed everyone across the country whatever workplace they are in. To suggest that is somehow a punishment is unacceptable." Mr Sarwar would not be drawn on what punishment Mr Gaffney should receive but said, "What I would urge Labour Party to do is not give us words. Solidarity is welcome but solidarity is not enough. I expect deeds and that needs to happen urgently." The decision over a suspension rests with Scottish Labour but it would be up party officials at Westminster to remove the whip there. Davy McLaughlin, leader of the Labour group on South Lanarkshire Council, was suspended pending a full investigation after Mr Sarwar was allegedly told Scotland was not ready for a brown, Muslim P leader. He denies the claims. Mr Leonard defended the decision not to suspend Mr Gaffney, saying he had not disputed the offensive comments. He also dismissed suggestions he had come under pressure from colleagues south of the border. Mr Leonard said, "He's admitted it and under those circumstances the appropriate action has already been taken. He's not denying it. If somebody's denying something then under those circumstances they may be suspended." Asked about the nature of the reprimand, the leader said Mr Gaffney had been spoken to in Westminster and he was expected to speak to the MP this afternoon. A Scottish Labour spokesman declined to comment on seating arrangements for First Minister's questions. He said, "We don't comment on leaks."